Good morning, YouTube. Technically afternoon. All right, we're going to get TikTok started here. And we went garage selling this morning. So we got some stuff. All right, here we go. Take off the shoes, get a little comfortable here. We got a whole bunch of stuff to go through this morning. All right, I'm so thirsty after all that. It is so hot outside. Holy smokes. If you're watching this on the replay and you're on YouTube, feel free to ask any questions in the chat, or you can find me on any other social media platforms. Pretty much anywhere on the internet. Just look for Nice Comps and you'll see me. All right. Tippa, you're the first one in today. Congratulations. You did it. You're number one. We are going through garage sale finds today. What did we get? When we were out at the garage sales today. We're going to find out together. Hi, Peaks Inn. That's a cute name. Lightheart lives long. I hope so. That would be fantastic. I'm happy to see you guys today. Did anybody go garage sailing? Anybody garage sale today? Anybody thrift store shop today? What did you guys wind up doing today? Who's working? Who's working on this Labor Day weekend? That's the real question, right? Who is working? Labor Day weekend, right? It's why they call it Labor Day weekend, because we're laboring. We're laboring. Hey, honey, how much money do I have to pay you to make me a cup of coffee? $1? Sold.
Sorry, it's Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend means husband gets coffee for wife.
I can't work this
weekend,
so you can't pay me.
You're technically on the clock right now. In pajamas. No. Oh, you hit the bins. Awesome. Do you know, fun fact, I still have not been to Goodwill bins. I've been to Goodwill. I've been to many thrift stores. I've not been to the bins yet. I haven't had to go to the bins yet, just source-wise. But I'm sure that will be.
Wanted to say hello to this.
Oh, well, hello, everyone. These are the pups. They're not technically allowed to walk around in here, so they can just stand in there. This is Sally, aka Meatball.
A good one.
And this is Jack Skellington, aka Jack Jack. He is funny. Hey, Claire. Hey, Stephanie. Linda. Yeah, I'm sure when garage sale season slows down this year, which will be probably pretty soon here. I mean, we're in Texas, so technically it's kind of year round. But it will definitely be way slower than it was. Yeah, no, I haven't been yet, Tippa. Oh, I'm going to go. I'm prepared. Like, I've watched a million videos on it. I've got my gloves for protecting my hands. I've got a rolling, like an Ozark wagon for my stuff. I went a little crazy on Black Friday. I love gadgets, you guys. So I got those. And then what else did I get? I got a couple other things for the bins. I don't even remember now. Yeah, I know the finds are great too. So I'm outside of Austin. So I think the closest one to me is actually North Austin. I think. I could be wrong. Like I said, I haven't been yet. Hey, JC Dizzle, welcome in. All right, you guys, let's get started here. Who wants to see the garage sale finds today? So the plan was this morning to do, there was 2 community sales in my area. So there was one that was literally like across the street, which is so random. The community across the street was having one. And then there was another community sale like down over the other side of the highway from me. And so both of them, I would say, are kind of like medium income families, a lot of families with little kids, which those are always like kind of hit or miss for me because I don't do like kids clothes. I don't do any like kids stuff. I do toys, but I only really do vintage toys, or if they're like really popular and they're still in the box. Otherwise, for me, I don't have a little kid, so trying to source for little kid stuff is just not my jam and jelly. Thank you for the follow. Thanks, Terry. So my daughter buys and sells 20s era stuff. Oh, that's rad. That's a niche. You can make good money at that though, especially if she can like recognize brands or recognize labels from back then. That's rad. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Mel. Yeah, so that was the plan, was these 2 community sales. So I got a little nervous, and I'll tell you why. I got started and I went to like 3 and I didn't find anything. And I mean like nothing. Like it was a lot of like true and time like Target stuff, Walmart stuff, a lot of Wild Fable. And I know people can make money on that stuff. That's just not my niche. I don't do that. I don't do that niche of clothing. And then there was a lot of like, oh man, like, what are some of the other brands I saw today? Terra and Sky, I saw 800 million pieces of that. A lot of like fast fashion stuff, so a lot of Shein. And there's nothing wrong with those clothing. Again, people do well with that. It's just not my jam. I don't know it. It doesn't light and spark joy me, so it's not something I source for. So I was getting a little nervous. Then I go to the sale and I see, the first thing I see is like a little pair of Jordans. They're, a 2Y or something. They're probably $35 new. They're nothing special. It's just kind of like something you'd see on sale at, Foot Locker or something on clearance because of the size. And I asked the guy how much he wants for it, and he wants like $15 for these shoes. I'm like, okay, well, that leaves me, no profit. So I left there, went to the next sale. I found a couple interesting things. I asked the lady how much she wanted. She wanted $10 for used jeans. And I was like, well, that doesn't leave me any room for profit. So I was like, well, would you be willing to take like 5 or 7 just to kind of get a metric for her? Nope, not budging. She was staying right where she was. So I got a little nervous. I was like, well, I have 2 choices right now. I can either totally bag this and just go home, or I can check out the other community, which is like about the same-ish kind of community. I was like, well, we'll just give it a shot. And I'm really glad I did, because that's where I found a bunch of stuff. I also found a lot of stuff on Tangents today. So Tangents are those sales you don't plan on going to, but you see a sign and you turn around and go. And then I also popped in because one of the sales I went going to was basically next door to this little thrift store in town. So I popped in. Now their clothing is usually outrageously priced, but their shoes, they never price very high. All the shoes there are like between like $3 to $5. So I usually pick up a couple pairs of shoes there. So hi, Koala. Good to see you. Good morning, Jessica with the K. Yes, Crystal, welcome in. Okay, so let's get started. And I'm actually going to start with what I found at the thrift store here first. So like I said, I don't normally go to the thrift store, and I definitely don't usually go on Saturdays. 2 things. One, I figured they're going to have a tag sale today, which they did. They had an orange tag sale, but there really wasn't anything. And at the thrift store, I blow through the racks really fast. Like, I'm going for feel of material. And I don't even touch the women's section. I don't know it. I don't know the brands. It's not my niche. I stick with what I know. So the first thing I got, this is one of those things where I did not buy this because of the brand. I bought this because of the aesthetic. And I get this question a lot whenever I'm doing my lives, or, when you guys pop in. I've had this question before, and I'm sure you've seen it. What brands do you buy? Why do you buy only because of brands? Do you only go through sell-through rates? Like, these are some of the common questions. And for me, yes, I buy because of some brands, but I buy a lot. I'm what's called an aesthetic buyer. So I'm someone that is going to buy something because I know exactly what platform it's going to sell on. I know exactly what keywords, I know what descriptors, I know everything I'm going to do to sell that item. So this is totally insane. So this is an all over print, bright, like literally crispy, brand new fire shirt. This is a brand called Flameless Shirt Design. They're out of Austin, Texas. Not something I bought because people are going to know this name, but I bought it because that is going to sell over on Depop. I can use keywords like biker, moto, insane, fire, flame, hardcore, punk. I mean, there's so many different words to describe this. It's a neat little button up, and it's got these really cool buttons. I don't know if you can see that, but they like reflect, like to make it almost look like fire is inside of the buttons. So we should be able to get a good little penny for this one. This is also the kind of item, I call it a slow your scroll item. So when people are on Depop, right, and they're just flipping through looking at stuff, this is something that is going to stop them in their tracks. It is going to slow their scroll. and they're going to want to see what this is. And I got it for $3. So I don't know what I'm going to price this at yet. I haven't looked to see if there's any others up there, but I would guess this is probably going to be close to like a $30 shirt for $3. So that was a no-brainer. Southern's here. Yeah, good treasure. Hi, Amberly Jackson. Hey, Jen. Oh, Jen's the #1 gifter. All right. Hey, Sandy. All right, so $3. Can't go wrong with that. Next thing I found at the thrift store today was a pair of Merrells. So these are Merrells. They're actually in a little better condition than they look on that screen. But people are buying these because they're work boots. These are steel toe boots, baby. Steel toe boots are always a pickup. Unless they want like $10, $15, $20, depending on the brand. If they're Docs, yeah, I may consider. But these are just a great pair of work shoes, slip-ons. These are what's called a dad core. You could probably even wrap that into a Gorp core. Let's see, what size are these two? These are a 12. So this dude right here is buying these because he's going to go work in them, and he doesn't want his toes to get crushed. And I got him for $5. So that's an easy pickup. I would say I have not comped these. I would say these are probably like a $40 pair of shoes. Maybe you guys know more. Ooh, Southern with the love. Love it. Definitely add safety toe for sure. Safety toe is great on steel toes. Also slip resistant. These are probably slip resistant. I'll have to look it up, but I almost guarantee that they are. They'll usually say like, and you can, the other cool thing about stuff like this that's a little bit more modern is you can usually find this exact shoe for sale somewhere. And all you got to do is just look at the specs on it, and it'll tell you, it's slip resistant. It's this. Some shoes, some safety shoes will have what's called is it an EFX rating? Am I wrong on that? I transpose my letters a lot, but it's basically the level of safety that you need in order to wear them for certain jobs. So pick those up for $5. That was an easy pickup. And then the last thing we got at the thrift store today, and again, I don't usually stop by the thrift store on Saturdays because I'm garage sailing, but there wasn't a ton today. And at this point, there was a garage sale next door, so I'm like, I'm just stopping. So I got this pair of Polar boots. This is like a $35 flip. They're in really good condition though. They just need to be lightly cleaned. I got these for $5 as well. Probably $35. I would say these are probably a 35 or a 40 flip. So easy. It meets my requirements. My requirements as a reseller is that my item, I have to know that I'm going to make at least 3 times profit. Meaning that if I buy a pair of shoes for $2, if I multiply that by 3, that's 6, but that's not profit. I got to do eBay fees. I got to do all of that. So 3 times profit means I need to be selling that for at least like $8 to cover all of the fees and costs, if that makes any sense. How were the garage sales? Yeah, Southern, it was kind of hit or miss today. I was telling everybody at the beginning of the stream. It was weird. Of course, the tangents, I did better on tangents today. So just places I saw random signs and stopped. The community sales I went to, the first one was wicked bust. It was so bad. Like it was all either low-level clothing or they wanted these astronomical prices. I've got a fun story for you guys too on some of the items I got here. All right. So this is one I just stopped by. So when I was done garage sailing, this is how my brain works. I decided I needed to go to the grocery store because I needed to get some Simplies because I want to make hash browns. So on the way home, I called husband. I was like, dude, do we have any hash browns? Because your girl needs some hash browns today. And he was like, no, he was like, you should get some. So I stopped and got some no sugar added bacon and some hash browns. And so after the store, I took like a different route home. And on the way home, I saw like 3 garage sales. So I wound up stopping, and weirdly enough, of course, that's where I found the most awesome stuff today. So my favorite sales to roll up to are the ones where I roll up, they're about to pack up, right? They're over it. They're already hauling that stuff back in the garage. They do not want to be putting that stuff back in the garage, but they have no choice, right? So I see them hauling stuff, and I was like, hey guys, you guys finishing up? And they're like, oh no, please come in. So I see this dude, he's probably like 55, And I said, hey, do you guys have any men's clothes? He's like, oh yeah, I got a bunch of my old t-shirts over there. I was like, right? Like, you guys know me. I'm like, oh, Y2K t-shirts? Yes, please. So I'm like, dude, these are going to be this guy's t-shirts that have been in these bags for probably like a really long time. And then the lady is about the same age. She's like, oh yeah, I got a bunch of my old work clothes too. And I was like, we'll take a look at that as well. So I spent $5 and got the following items. So the first thing I got was, and I don't normally do women's clothes, but there is certain things I'll pick up. So I got a Talbot's skirt, and it feels like it's wool. Let's see, what does it say? Yeah, it is. So this is a 100% wool, long women's skirt. So this is like cottage core, farm core, login look, which is Lagen. I could probably even do whimsy. There's a lot of, that's Justin's favorite, whimsy. There's one tiny little pinhole here, but the person that's buying this is buying this because they want that like old school vintage aesthetic. So that's a nice little pickup. So I got that one. And then I got another one, same exact skirt. And look at this old Talbot's label. That is like, I mean, this has got to be, and it's made in the USA. Excuse me. Thank you very much. It is made in the USA. So that immediately tells me we're going to be able to get a good amount. This has got to be like an early 90s Talbot. I would guess like 92 probably. So I don't even know what the comp is on these with the long wool. You guys are welcome to look it up if you want, if you can find it. And then here was the little t-shirt jackpot I got. So this is the first one I got. So this is a Marc Ecko. And if you guys know Ecko Unlimited, which is like an older brand, they got like the rhinoceros. There is some newer stuff. He also has a line called Cut and Sew, but this is just a straight up Marc Ecko, little older cut and sew. So this is going to be like a 2007, I would say 2006. Look at this thing. Excuse me. Is that a skull patch right there? It absolutely is. So this will sell on Depop. This is a Depopper. Maybe Grailed, probably Depop. I would say probably Depop. So I got that one. And he had a bunch of other t-shirts there too that were really cool, but they were just a little too stained. There's grunge, there's distressed, and then it's not cool enough to be this distressed, meaning like if I ran into like an old Hot Chili Peppers t-shirt or something like that, and it had holes or stains, I'm picking that up. But if it's just kind of a whatever, I'm like, I could maybe get $11 for it. Is it worth the time? I don't know. So I passed on a couple things, but I did find a couple cool ones. And I found a couple that had stuff on it that I can't talk about on here. And I can't sell on any of the online platforms. So wink, wink, nod, nod. You guys can probably all figure out what it is. But there was some really cool stuff there that I was just like, oh man, but I don't want to get my account, blah, blah, blah. So there is this one here. So Special Forces. So this one's really cool. It's just got a little arrow on it, just a little bread and butter. But what is important is this tag. So if you guys see this tag like this means this is a vintage item. So this is a Y2K. It's a made in Mexico AAA, so it's not 90s. It's probably like a 2004, I would say, right in there. So, and more importantly, it's a good size too. 3XL. Like I sell a lot of 2XL and 3XL stuff. And I have repeat buyers too. I have a couple people that buy from me regularly in that size. So they're always like, hey, if you come across it's in my size or whatever, let me know. So I've got some of those. And then the other one I got there was this one. So this is an old Vegas t-shirt. It's got like, graphics and stuff on it. But I got it because it's got a little bit of an older Fruit of the Loom. Now, this is not the woven Fruit of the Looms. So it's not like 90s. It's not even super early Y2K. This is probably a 2010 10, I would say, something in there. But again, it's a 3XL. And I always do really well with like old vintage-ish, vintage, retro Vegas shirts. So when you're doing your Vegas shirts or you're doing any shirts and you're putting them online, make sure you put tourist on there. So people will look up, they'll buy t-shirts just because they're like tourist t-shirts. Oh, I know that smells like people, huh? Jack's like, Mom, those clothes smell like other people. Okay, buddy, you got to get out of here. I love you. Go find Daddy. What's Daddy doing? All right, so that was everything from that one sale. So I got those 2 skirts and those 3 shirts for $5. I mean, boom. All right, moving along. This guy needs a clean, but I got him for a couple different reasons. So this is a Levi's cut vest. This has been upcycled though. I believe this was originally a jean jacket. So this is what's called a punk aesthetic. So punks love, and I can say this because I am also a punk rocker, punks love what's called like a punk vest. It's your staple piece, it's your statement vest, and they'll put, patches and stuff on it. Also bikers, any of that kind of aesthetic. Now this is probably, I did not check. I would guess this is like a 2012-ish maybe. Let's see, what year are we? 2013. So it's not vintage, but it is retro. Now he needs a little bit of spraying down. He definitely needs to get washed. And I get this question almost every time I do a garage sale live. Do you wash clothing? And the answer is it depends. So like those old Vegas shirts and all that, I am definitely going to wash that because they have been like in a bag in a garage for Lord knows how long. And they probably have like a scent to them. But like this shirt here from the thrift store, it's like crispy clean and nice and fresh. So that one does not need to be washed. The wool skirts, I'm not going to wash because I'm not going to have them dry cleaned. And I always put in my listings for those too, like had been in storage for quite a few years, did not dry clean because I don't want people expecting to get like a dry cleaned piece. What does best for you on Grailed? That's a good question. Expensive things. So for me on Grailed, the only things I've ever sold on Grailed, I'll even open up my app here and I can just tell you what the most recent sales are. I sold oh yes, you rock my world. Thank you, husband. Do you put sugar in it or monk fruit?
Yeah.
Nope, you did not. So the last couple things I sold on Grailed were a vintage, really rare 49ers t-shirt, a pair of Fat Farm jeans, 2 Psycho Bunnies, a vintage Nike long sleeve, a vintage white zombie t-shirt, a vintage super nice wool LL Bean long sleeve, a pair of White Wolves, which is a vintage Nike shoe, 4 pairs of vintage Levi's, a really expensive, hard to find zip off PGA Tour shirt, a Harley Davidson wool button up vintage, more Nikes, another pair of super rare Nikes. So I would say usually really expensive stuff, rare stuff, hard to find stuff. That's usually what I sell on Grailed. Brings the whole canister of sugar. Welcome to my life. Technically, it's monk fruit. Honey, you just broke Southern.
What?
He goes, brings the whole container of sugar. Oh my God, this is my life every day. It's a constant comic book. Oh my gosh. Hi, Andrew. All right, let's keep going. I'm getting distracted. All right, what else do we get? Next thing is an Under Armour. Now, Under Armour is one of those brands I don't always pick up, but I picked this up for 2 reasons. One, it was $1. Jack, you can't be in here, baby. I'm sorry. You want a treat? Go get Daddy. Oh, Daddy, he needs a gentle. Go get him. Well, go get him. Good boy. That's what we call their treats is gentles, because when I go to open my hand, I'm like, gentles, I don't eat my fingers. Okay. You get nothing. Okay, so yeah, so Under Armour. The reason I picked this up was for two reasons. One, it was $1. Two, it's in really good condition. There's no pulls, but most importantly, it's a 3XL. So I will always, almost 100% of the time, buy plus size clothing. It sells for me really, really well online. And like I said, the repeat buyers I have for plus size clothing is awesome. Like that's your goal, right? In everything is to have repeat buyers. So this one's clean. This is fresh, smells clean, does not need to go in the wash pile. Okay, next thing, this was all from the same sale. So this was at that second community sale I went to. Like I said, I don't even know if I got anything from the first one. I mean, I left the house at 7:01 and I didn't even get to the next community till like 8:30. So I probably spent an hour and a half and I don't think I got anything. And it happens, but there's that like panic, like, oh my God, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my day. How many things can I get listed? And I was like, no, Charity, no. You put out to the universe that you were going to find amazing things today. And that's what we'll find. So I did my Superwoman pose. And I spoke it into existence. Because that's who I am. All right, next. Polo Ralph Lauren. Again, not always a pickup, but I picked this up because this is an older polo. I sell these like crazy. I know a lot of buyers or a lot of resellers online say that they can't sell them. I always can. I don't have any issues. It's got a woven tag, so it's older. And more importantly, this is a 3XB. So this is a bigger shirt and it's long sleeve. And it was $1. So that, and a lot of times my guys that will buy these will say, hey, I saw you've got some other ones online. Would you be willing to bundle them together? Or could I get more than one? Do I get a discount? On Depop, where I sell a lot of these, I already have free shipping on bundles. So the guy that bought this one is probably, and that's clean, is probably the guy that's going to buy this one. So another one, nice little US polo. And is this made in USA? No, it's not that old. So, but we are definitely in the Y2K. These were all together at one sale. And actually, at first, I didn't see anything at the sale. I almost left, and then I caught a pile on the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, that looks like knit. All right, so those are clean. Same guy is probably going to buy this one. So I got another one in teal. Again, we got it for $1. You can tell it's a little older because of the what the polo label looks like. How do I know that? You just buy enough of them. You watch enough videos and you learn that way. This is a really super soft one. This is a 2XLT and it's 100% cotton. It's a really super soft. It's more of a t-shirt material versus the knit. So those all really are going to sell really well. Oh, we got one more of those. And there was two other ones. One of them, the collar was just so beat. Like it was just too beat up. And the other one was really cool. It was like a peach color, but it had a stain. And I was like, I know I can't get that stain out of that peach t-shirt or that peach shirt. And I'm going to have to knock $4 off, which is going to eat my profit. So I left that one behind. So another 100% cotton. This is just bread and butters. And what bread and butter means is just things I know I can sell. It's a no-brainer. I don't need to like look up anything. It's just put it up, sell it, turn and burn. Okay. Next item. What is this? Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, you guys. I think I sold something. Justin. I don't know what these are, and I did not buy this. Okay. Okay. Lock her up. Call the FBI. Here we go. Okay. All right. I'm cooked. So apparently we have a pair of pants. I used to love yard sales. What is it about two heads on polo? I don't know what you mean by two heads on polo. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't buy these. I don't know what these are. I didn't buy these. New Directions. Well, apparently we have a pair of size 8 New Direction pants. So I think what must have happened was when because I walked up to the front, I set the t-shirts down, we counted them out, and it was still on the table that had like a bunch of other clothes. And I think when I picked it up, I accidentally took these. Well, if the person that I ever got those polo shirts from sees this video, I apologize. That was not on purpose. And I will give you $1 for the pair of pants. Oh my gosh. Ooh, Michael Simon Bolo brand. Awesome. Hey, thanks for inviting them. Thanks, Mike. Hey, Kathy. Okay, well, we have a pair of pants that we didn't mean to pick up. Next, moving right along. All right, next we've got a backed bay. I did not pick this up because of the brand. I picked this up because of the aesthetic. So this is a Dadcore Hawaiian shirt. The print is super cool. It's 100% rayon. You kind of are going to find you got two different buyers with Hawaiian shirts. You got people that only want to wear silk. You got people that only want, three, that want that more cotton feel, like not canvas, but like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's like a cottony feel, like a woven cotton. And then you've got people that are going to want more like the rayon. And of course, the silk is going to sell the best. It always is going to sell for more. But these are so easy for me to sell as like a Dadcore item. I mean, vacation, it's got the wooden buttons. This is definitely a vintage item. This has got to be like an early Y2K, just judging by the label. Like, I can just tell because of the weave of it. So easy little pickup. It's got a couple little, maybe little pulls here or there. It'll probably sell for $13, $15, $14. But I mean, I paid $1. So I always pick those up. Okay, what do we got next? This was at one of the last sales on the way home. So this was one of those, like, I go to this sale and this woman, I could tell what she was trying to get rid of. When you guys go to yard sales, do you ever roll up and you can just tell why the person's doing the garage sale? Like, either they've got the one item up that's like the really expensive jacket they're trying to sell, or you can tell they're trying to get rid of a collection. Like maybe it's like Funko, or maybe it's Squishmallows or something. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Hey, Aspen. So this sale, this woman was getting rid of Starbucks tumblers. She probably had 40 Starbucks tumblers. So I walked up and I was like, whoa. And she's like, oh yeah, my husband said it was time for me to get rid of some of these. And so she's like, yeah, I'm selling them. Now she wanted like $5 a tumbler. And I know a lot of people out there that would have jumped on that and bought them. I have sold Starbucks tumblers in the past. If it's a really rare one, I may pick it up. But these were just kind of your like, normal everyday tumblers. Some of them had like the diamond-y patterns. Maybe I could sell it for $16 online, but they are a pain in the patootie to ship. They are totally beanie babies. Yeah, exactly. That's another one that people always have those. So for me, it was just like, if I was an early reseller, if this was like, a year or two ago and I was at a garage sale and I saw them, I probably would have been like, let's make a deal and gotten all these tumblers. The problem is the shipping, because you got to pretty much leave the straw in there. By the time you get the height and everything, I mean, they cost like $11 to ship. So if I'm buying it for $5, the person's got to pay $11 in shipping. I mean, that's already $16 in right there between me and the buyer. So I know a lot of people sell them and a lot of people do really good. For me, it's not a turn and burn product. I have to box it and ship it, and it's just too much work. So I don't do that. So I found this one. This is another brand I was not familiar with. It's called Return to Sender. Did not get it because of the brand. Got it because of the aesthetic. That is fire, and that will absolutely sell. Los Angeles, California. It's got like a super sick like graffiti look to it. So if you're wondering what the descriptors or the keywords for this one would be, you're looking at, streetwear, hip hop, LA, Cali, SoCal, surf, skate. I mean, you could pretty much put like all those aesthetics in. Loose, baggy, fire, graffiti, graphic. I mean, there's just a million things you could do. Skyline, there's tons of stuff you could do. And it's super wide and baggy. So that'll probably end up selling up on Depop too. I mean, you guys know I primarily sell most of my stuff on Depop, and that's nice and clean too. Now here's an item I got an interesting. I'm just gonna put these right here and see if anybody sees what these are. They're a little dirty. They need to be washed up. So I roll up to the sale, and this is why you can never judge a book by the cover. And I always, I got to give one glance around everywhere I go. So it was a tool sale. The guy was selling tools. So it was all like power washers and drills and all these tools that I literally have no idea what any of them are. There's like 15 dudes at this garage sale. Everything's out on tarps. And then over in the corner is this one little tarp, and it's got two things on it. It's got these and something we're going to come across here at some point. I don't see it right now. Oh, here it is. It's got these and this. And I'm like, I'm like, well, I think that's Pirates. It says Porter made it. I'm not really sure what this is, but I was like, that's an easy sell. It's super cool looking. It's crochet on the outside. So that's like granny core crochet. And then the inside of the hat and the outside here is velvet. So I was like, for $1, I'm absolutely picking this up. So this will sell either on Depop, could sell on eBay too, either one of those places. Maybe Posh. I'd be surprised, probably not. But you never know, right? So I see these and I'm like, those look like Yeezys to me. And I'm like, I think they are. But it says that they're an Adidas on it. And so I'm like, in my mind, I'm going in my memory bank. And I'm like, if I feel like Yeezy Adidas team up happened for slip-ons. So I bought them sight on, like, basically, like, even if they aren't, I know I can sell them because the guy only wanted $1. He was so busy selling his tools that he had no idea. So I get in the car and I whip them into Google Lens, and it pulls up, sure enough, Adidas Yeezy slides. And I looked and it has the exact same swoop. It's got the same swish. Everything on it looks legit. It says, oh, yep, there it is. There it is. I found it. I couldn't see this in the car. There it is right there. It says Yeezy. Can you guys see it? Yep. Got these for $1. These are $110 shoes. Honey, they are Yeezys. 110 bucks. That guy's spending all day selling those busted tools because they were rough. And I walked away with $110 pair of shoes for $1. I mean, you can't make that up. Send them through Check. Yeah, I don't even need to, Southern. I can tell. I can see the Yeezy print inside. They'll have to be authenticated through eBay anyways. I'm gonna save my buck with Check because I can already tell that they are. Oh my gosh, I couldn't see the Yeezy in the car, but now that I'm sitting here under the light, I'm like, okay. Those are the Onyx colorways. Can you believe that, you guys? $1. Man. And that right there is why my booty gets up at 5:45 on Saturday mornings or 5:30, depending on if I have to plan out sales, when it's pitch black outside, is so I can find things like that, because that just makes me excited. Yeah, so those are base comps I'm saying. I don't know that that's exactly what it is, but it's in that roundabout figure. Okay, next. So this is something I don't normally pick up. So I don't usually pick up like women's sporty tops or any of that kind of stuff because I don't really know a lot of the brands. But I was watching, gosh, you know what? I think actually it might have been Hustle's live the other day. And he had somebody on that was talking about not snoozing on this kind of stuff. And so I was like, well, I'm going to take a chance. Now, I have not comped these, so I have no idea. The girl wanted $2 a piece. I asked her if she would do 3 for $5. So I spent $5. I can't imagine that I don't make my money back. They're Victoria's Secrets. So we'll find out. I don't know. They're fresh, they're clean, they smell great, they're in great condition. So that's me, guys. That's me branching out and taking a chance. Is it a red flag if my girl has 3 arrested at DUI? I don't know. That's a personal question. 1,200 sold listings in 90 days. Whoa. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Cece. Okay, what do we got, kids? What do we got next? So this is a brand that not everybody likes selling Dickies. I love selling Dickies. I don't ever keep them in my store. I think Dickies, though, are one of those things that you really have to know the aesthetic you're looking for with Dickies. Some of it is just like super commercially, like almost Walmart-y looking stuff, like super generic. I mean, if it's new with tags, I'm still going to pick it up regardless. But if you come across the Dickies line and it looks like that old school Y2K 90s. So this dude is into like the band, some sort of metal band. He is going to the concert and he's wearing, some baggy jeans and a chain belt. He's wearing some combat boots. Like that's who this dude is. This is also like a biker or a punker. This is also an indie thing. So there's a lot of people that wear this brand. A lot of people I see online with their listings, they'll only classify Dickies as workwear. And yes, technically it is workwear, but there's this whole like subculture of people that wear Dickies clothing. So for me, it is a pickup. Yeah, Southern. And that is true. I feel like they look right. But maybe I should do check on that. I mean, it's a buck. Maybe I should. So it feels authentic. I mean, I sell a lot of shoes and I kind of know what the feel is when something feels funky. The weight feels right and everything. But yeah, they definitely, that is a brand to be careful. And that is good advice. Yeah. So with the Dickies, this is a Dickies Flex shirt, double pocket. It's got the Dickies logo at the bottom. And more importantly, the size on this is a 2XL. No brainer. So if you guys see those, that is definitely a pickup. Nether Dickies, same thing, flex, same guy, long sleeve. I rolled up to the sale and this guy had 2 Harleys out in the front of their house. So I was really hoping they were going to have like Harley stuff for sale, and he didn't, unfortunately. It was mainly women's clothes. I think like the wife was like trying to get rid of stuff, but he did have a few of his, old work shirts out. So picked up those. Each for $1. All right, next pair. So got these. These are a little pair of Ariat jeans. Ariats are always a pickup. This has the whiskering across the front. It has a little bit of distressing here on the edges, probably from the heel of a cowboy boot would be my guess. And I always sell Ariats. Ariats have a 100% sell-through rate. I am 100% confident saying that. If I can keep an Ariat item in my store, it's a miracle. I just sold 3 pairs of Ariat boots last week. I listed them and they sold within like 40 hours. So if you see that brand Ariat, always pick them up. This is a great size too, because it's a little bit larger. So these are a 38-30. A million tags for this, because the guy that's wearing these is going to be into like Western wear. But the guy that wears these is also going to be into like MMA, Affliction, Ed Hardy, like that whole subgenre. You just have a lot of different kinds of people that are going to wear that. And because it's already got that distressing, a lot of dudes want that. People that wear Ariats, in my experience, either want them to be like crisp, fresh, new, perfect, or they want that like whiskering, lived in, minorly grunge aesthetic. They may not be a grunge person, but they're dipping their toes in, and that's how you're going to sell those, is by doing a lot of trigger words for a lot of different genres of people. Okay, what do we got next? Wow, I actually did pretty good. You know what's funny is I didn't feel like I did that good today, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, we didn't do that bad. I mean, I only spent $50 today, you guys, on everything you're going to see today. I only spent, I think it was like $47. So Heard they got a ding because eBay said inauthentic on them. Okay, yeah. That's good advice. Ariat are an absolutely fast-moving jean, 100%. Hey, Gigi. Next, we've got another thing. Oh, this is funny. That has a googly eye on it. It's not supposed to have that. What do we think? Yeah? Is it a vibe? Honey, come here. Can you see it? Is it a vibe? Me want cookies. I am never getting rid of this. This is going up. You know where this is going? This is going up here. This is going up on our stand. I got to put a little extra glue on the back of that. That's going up on the rack, honey. My rack has like stickers and like funny things I have found out in the world of reselling. I just picked up 4 pair of 36, 38 for $15. No. Ooh, that is smooth, Southern. Yeah, and if you guys don't know why that's exciting, is because he's probably going to be able to sell each of those pair of jeans for like over $40. That's rad. Use it for size comparison when showing a stain. Yeah, that's funny. That is funny. Okay, next we've got another shirt. So this is one that I did not pick up because of a brand. I picked it up because of the aesthetics. It's got a couple of pew-pews there. It says at the top, print it. And it says Belton, Texas. I don't know where that is, but that does not matter. This will sell on Depop. This is a 100% Depop item. In fact, I may even just list it just there because that's never going to sell somewhere else. Okay, next. Oh, this is a cool one. Another pickup. And all these t-shirts, I got them for $1 each. This is a brand called 30 Single. Not familiar with the brand, but it is such a cool double-sided graphic shirt. It is totally Cali. It's totally skate. So SK8, skater boy, skater kid, 90s aesthetic, retro. Obviously it's a newer item. This is probably like super modern, but it has that vibe of like Point Break. Like I can see one of the guys from Point Break, or like, do you guys remember the movie Gleaming the Cube? Yeah, this is the shirt they're wearing in Gleaming the Cube. If you don't know what that is, you need to Google it because it's all amazing. So, and these all smell fresh. These were like mom washed these before she put them out in the garage sale. All right. Next, what do we have here? Oh, a pair of Levi's. You know, it's funny, you guys. I usually find a lot of Levi's in the wild, and technically I did today, but I'll tell you why I didn't get them because it was a situation. So I picked these up for $2. These are a little pair of 511s, 3630s, which is a great size. Obviously, these are modern. These are a 2015, so they're a little bit older, but not too old. Most importantly, it's got 2 things. One, it's got some really nice horizontal whiskers, but 2, this is what is called a vertical stitch, meaning that rather than it being cross-hatched like Levi's normally are, they run straight down. Now, it's interesting to find a pair of 2015s in this because usually most of the Levi's I find stopped doing that in like 2011-ish when that kind of Y2K era came out. So it's kind of cool to find a pair of these like this in this condition. And the reason people will buy the vertical stitch is because these shrink way less than the ones that have crosshatch. I sell a lot of Levi's. I measure a lot of Levi's. Levi's are probably my predominant selling item. And so the problem with the crosshatch Levi's, like most are, is there's 2 ways for it to shrink. So they shrink in, meaning the waist is smaller, and it shrinks up. And so when you can find them like this, almost always, not always, but almost always the inseam will be about the same as it was when they were bought. So we're going to test that here. Let's take a look here. Looks like our inseam on these are approximately, looks like about a 29-ish. And what do we say, 30? Is that what we said for the size? Yeah, so these have only shrunk up 1 inch, which is nothing. Levi's are usually at least 2 inches different. So a lot of people like to buy the vertical stitch because they won't shrink on them as much. So that's a nice little pair of pants. Those could sell on any platform, actually. They may go on Posh. They may go on Depop or eBay. I mean, I sell a lot of jeans on eBay too. All right, so pick those up for $2. And then another pair of Levi's here. So these are 559s, another 3630. So these are, well, these have almost a vertical stitch too. Interesting. Yeah. So if you look at it here, you can see the lines. I don't know if you can see it very well, but the lines go up and down on these. Yeah, you can see it like that. So these do have a little bit of a vertical stitch. That's interesting. Usually these are a crosshatch, but, and then let's see what year these are. So these are these are 2015 too. So Levi's must have released their line. They must have done like a short run of that vertical stitch somewhere in that time frame, would be my guess. But I don't manufacture Levi's, so I don't know. So I got each of those pairs of pants. I got these, I think, for $1, and I got the other pair for $2. So not bad. All right, story time, kids. In this pile right here, there should also be like 40 pairs of Levi's. And here's what happened. So I roll up to this sale. I better put a lid on my monk fruit here before it goes flying everywhere. I roll up to this sale and I can see this gigantic tub of jeans. They all look like they're like a off tannish greenish color and then black jeans. And I can tell from a mile away that they're Levi's because I can just spot them. And as I'm walking up, I notice that they're like brand new, like as in new with tags, Levi's. But as I get closer, I realize that they are really small sizes and they're women's. So they're all like in between like a size 4 to 6, which would technically be like a size 27, which a lot of guys will buy that because they want that indie look. They'll buy women's, 27s that are actually a size 6. Women's because they want the indie aesthetic, but it's a small niche market. And so you're basically selling these to women. You're like the likelihood of you finding enough people to buy those is it's just a smaller market is what I guess what I'm trying to say. So long story short, I look at this box and I get a little excited because I'm like, okay, normally if I run into someone that's got a tub of all new with clothes, it means they probably used to have a store or they have a shopping addiction. So I asked her. Now, as I'm getting ready to ask her, I noticed a stack of LuLaRoe over in the corner. And I'm like, okay, I already know what the answer is going to be. So I was like, hey, are you just a shopper or did you used to have a store? And she's like, oh, actually, I used to have a store. I'm like, of course you did. Because, you used to have LuLaRoe. That's my son. So I said, hey, I'm looking at all these new Levi's. I was like, how much are you asking? And she says, I want $10 a piece. Opinions on modern Harley t-shirts. What do you typically price them at? Low, unfortunately, unless they are a key place. So Alaska, Vegas, Austin, there's a couple other places you can Google, like most popular Harley stores. Those t-shirts, if they're modern, sell well. But if they're a newer Harley t-shirt and they're not like a desired location, not as much. And they typically need to be double-sided for sure, for you to sell them. Like Harley just started mass producing stuff so much that it has become, it's kind of like Carhartt, where your older Carhartt sells really well, newer Carhartt not as much unless it's new with tags because they just so much came out. Champion, there's another brand. If you can find a vintage reverse weave, $50. You find a new Champion sweatshirt, $3. So it's just one of those. So you can just Google the place you have. Okay. So so I see this tub. Sorry, I got off on a tangent because that's how my brain works. And she wants $10 for each of these pair of pants. Now, that's not a terrible price, right? They are probably new with tags 17 because they're a women's Levi. It's a really small size and they're a black jean, right? And then there's also this off greenish tan color. So I'm willing to purchase them all. I'm willing to purchase them all because I can just take pictures of one and then I can stockpile it. It's almost like a retail arbitrage. My words. Retail arbitrage. Whoa, I can barely say that word today. Okay. My dyslexia is like, this is what happens when you get up super early and then you try to like be able to say words. So basically it's like that, only at a garage sale. So I'm like, well, I could bring all these home and I can just take pictures of one and sell them. So I was like, hey, if I was to purchase a whole bunch of these, would you be willing to do a deal? And she literally looks at me and she's like, they're $10. And I go, no, right. I was just thinking like, she's like, no, really, they're $10. And I was like, so all of them are $10 a piece? She's like, yes, they're $10. And I'm like, dude, lady, you missed out because I could have bought like 40 pairs of jeans from you, or even if there's 30 pairs and I was willing to even do, let's say that she was willing to do like $4 a pair, she could have not had to haul all those back into her garage. So now she's got to haul all that stuff back in her garage. It's like what people don't understand, and this is like the most irritating thing about garage sales, is like they don't understand like that woman is going to have to wait for some random person to come to that garage sale today that just happens to have a kid that wears a size 6 jeans with an inseam of like 27 or something. Like they're small pants, right? And I just don't get that. It's like, don't they want to just get rid of it? I don't know. It's so weird to me. It's so weird to me. Hey, Fred. Anyways, I wound up getting a couple other things there because why would I not? But I'm just hitting around, would I be pretty crazy if I bought all these? Nothing. Crickets. It's like, okay. In the words of the Muppets, moving right along. Okay, but I did get this for $1. I did not buy it because it is any sort of fancy thing. It is a Hanes heavyweight. It's not super vintagey, but it is probably in the Y2K aesthetic. Where was it made? Yeah, assembled in Mexico. So this is probably like a 2011, maybe something right in there. But the reason I got it is because it's just so cool. So it's got the front, it's got the back, it's double-sided. And then on the sides here, it says Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. So this is something that they bought on a vacation probably and at a tourist shop or something. So I'll be able to add tours to it, bookworm, cottage, like so many cool things. So that was for $1. I was like, well, there you go. 2 other things I got there. The first thing I got was this. Again, this was only $1. This is a 100% silk. So it's that same brand we were looking at earlier today. And I'm going to screw this word up, but I think it's supposed to be back. It's BATCK. It's not batch. Batch cut. I don't know. Anyways, it is, I can hear Justin laughing from the other room. It is 100% silk. So that's a pickup right there. Hey, you guys, thanks for the follow and the hearts. I appreciate it. Moving right along. All right, check marks. Another pickup here. This is not, I don't always pick this stuff up. This is a Ralph Lauren. I'm kind of picky with their stuff. So I will pick it up almost always if it's Y2K or 90s, because that just always sells for me. Anything after that, it's got to be like a limited edition. It's got to have some sort of like really sick, awesome pattern. It's got to be something where the person's only going to buy it because I stopped their scroll somehow. So this one's a little bit older. The reason I got it is because we've got the holidays coming up, and it's a total Christmas sweater or Christmas shirt. So it's got the long sleeves. It's red and green. The number of trigger words for this is beyond, especially with the holidays coming up. I'll be able to wrap all of that in. I don't see a date tag or anything. I would say this is probably like 2016. Maybe not. Yeah, it was assembled in Singapore, so probably. I would say it's a newer one. What are a few things you're always picking up strictly based off the style alone? Y2K. So anything, any graphic t-shirt that is even minorly cool that you could see some skateboarding kid wearing, I pick up. I don't care what brand it is. Does not matter to me. 100%. Number two, anything granny core. So anything granny or cottage. In fact, I've got a perfect example right here. This stuff always sells. This will probably end up selling on Poshmark. So this is a little, it's a Mandel Bay, but it's got an old tag. This is a 100% cotton. Look at this thing. Like, it's got apples. It's got little beads for seeds. It's got a little pocket with an apple on it. It's got embroidered apple tree at the bottom. Full corduroy dress jumps with a back pocket. I mean, come on. Now, I paid more for this than I normally would. She wanted $3 for it. And this lady, this was another one. I ran into a lot of these people today. She was not budging. She was cooked. She was like, no, $3. And I was like, would you take 2? No, it's $3. I'm like, okay. I mean, I can probably sell this for $40, so it's fine. But she was not moving. So anything in that like cottagecore grandma aesthetic, like especially if it says like world's greatest grandma, or it says like, grandma took me to, or my grandson is a proud little league kid, but it's like a vintage old t-shirt. People wear that because it's ironic. So that kind of stuff I just will always pick up. Goth. That's another one. So goth brands, there aren't a whole lot of like really high-end goth brands. Hot Topic, of course, but generally, and I mean, there's some, but I don't even look at the tag on a goth item. If it looks gothic and I can imagine some like spooky, witchcore person wearing it, then I'm going to pick it up because I know it'll sell. It always sells. Hi, Mike. How's it going? Hey, Mary. Okay, next, what do we got? This is a Nike pickup. I got this. This is modern, but it's super cool. It's a Nike Freak t-shirt. The graphics on it look like a mosaic, so it's super cool. In great condition. It's got 2 tiny little pinholes, but for $1, I'm like, even if I flip this for $12, it's worth it. And this kind of stuff, the other reason I pick up a lot of this kind of stuff is because of my Depop shop. So on Depop, I've got it set where if the person buys a bundle, they get free shipping. And we went through the whole mathematics of this yesterday and why it works for me. And I probably should just do a video on that. But for me, if I can get someone, I'm just going to use this for example. If I can get someone to buy this for $25 and they buy this for $12 because they're getting free shipping, this still only cost me $1. This only cost me $1, and I'm getting 2 things out of my store. So basically, I spent $2. Yet if you add 12, let's even just say 10. If you add 10 and 25, that's $35. So now I have made $35. It's going to cost me $6.90 maybe to ship this, somewhere in there. So mathematically, even if you deduct it down, I'm going to make more money because someone doesn't want to have to pay $6 to get this shipped. But if they can get it shipped for free and I make an extra $4 for like little to no work, then it's a no-brainer. Now, if you're buying stuff from Goodwill or thrift stores and you're buying more and you're paying more so that like your ROI, your like investment, how much you're investing and then how much you're actually making, if they're closer to each other, that's not going to work for you. You're going to eat it. But if you're selling high and you're buying low, which of course is the ideal situation, and you're willing to throw in a little free shipping or you're willing to throw in a little discount, all of a sudden your margin is still so huge that it just makes sense. I hope that makes sense without getting too fancy. Hey, Lynn. Okay, and those are both clean. Oh, well, Yeah, no, we didn't see any spots on that. It just has a little pinhole. All right, now here's a brand that I don't always pick up anymore. I picked it up a ton in the past, and that's Columbia. Here's my exception, because Columbia also is one of those things that like the market has gotten a bit saturated with it. This was $1, so it's hard to not pick it up. And then let's see what year this is, because this felt older to me, just judging by the feel of it. Let's see. Yeah, I believe this is a 2013. I don't have my big glasses on. Where are they? I think this is a 2013. So it's a little older, but it's in really good condition. It's got the mock neck. That's what these necks are called. You can tell it's older too, just because I know Columbia tags really well. That's a little bit of an older Columbia tag. So for $1, it's a pickup. It may only sell for 14, but that's okay. And this is something where someone would buy this and they may buy another thing in order to get the free shipping. Where will this sell? Probably eBay or Poshmark would be my guess on that one. Next, now I don't do a whole lot of women's clothes. You guys know that. But if I see something and it's inexpensive, I'm going to pick it up. This was another Columbia, and it's just a really nice little dress. But here's why I picked this up. If you look at the back there, PFG is performance fishing gear. So this is technically like a fishing dress. So either some woman that's really into fishing, or maybe her husband's into fishing and they're going on a camping trip, she's going to get this. It's like a swimsuit material. It feels super modern to me. I don't know if there's a year on this one. Columbia stuff's interesting. There's not always a year on it. It feels modern to me though. It feels modern. I already know it is. So for $1, you know, even if this sells for $18 or $19, that is worth it. Okay, we got a couple more things here. This is a great answer to that question too. Like, even if this wasn't a Nike, just because those graphics are like so sick, I'm going to pick that up. Like, they are crisp. They're great. This is definitely a modern Nike tee. Take a look at that one. I mean, that's just a no-brain pickup. Ooh, it says something inside. I didn't even see it. The Department of Nike Archives official reissue. Oh, well, that could be interesting. What year is this? This is a 2021. Yeah, so this must have been an older style, I'm assuming. This must have been a print that they had. Nike will do, like they took their Icarus shoes and they re-released them, like new ones. So this is a re-release of something, of the original t-shirt. Does anyone remember this original t-shirt? I don't. I mean, it totally has that 1990s, like early 90s hip hop feel to it. So, and it's clean. It's in great condition. That is a turn and burn product. Put it up there. It'll sell. Man, that thing could sell pretty much anywhere. That might be a grailed. That might be a grailed for sure. Hey, Alfie. I thought it said AFI for a second. I was like, yeah, AFI. All right, couple more things here. This is a weird pickup. This is not something I would normally get. The lady wanted $3 for it. I haggled her down to $2. It's got some paint on the button, but it does come off. So I kind of Google lensed this on the fly. This is a vintage hat. Do you guys remember the movie? I'm sure you do. A Christmas Story. Remember the kid in the Christmas Story, which of course, you know, I'm going to use in my descriptors. That's what this is. And it's got a super old tag. Look at that tag. That is like ancient. It's called a Youngin hat. So I would guess that this probably is like maybe like a $20 hat. I don't know. All I know is that when I looked it up, I saw that there was other ones for sale. It was super bright outside, so I couldn't see it. I actually am curious now. All I could see was the name, and I saw that there was other ones for sale. What are we going to guess on this? I'm going to guess like, I mean, it can't be worth more than $20. I can't imagine. I've been tricked before, but I can't imagine. And it was called, have you guys ever had that happen at a sale where you're outside and it's so bright and you're trying to like do your Google lens on the fly? So you're talking to the person, but you're looking down, but it's so bright you can't see it. The only place that they had, there was like 6 people inside of a garage, all in chairs. It was the only place I would have been able to see and like read it. But I was like, if I go up there and read it, like they're gonna know what I'm doing. Hey, Champagne Sunday, that's a good friend of mine. Hey, you guys, if you want to follow the most amazing husband-wife music team, her voice is insane, by the way. You guys have to follow Champagne Sunday. They are so great. They're a Washington-based band. I don't know if you guys are still in Washington. I'm assuming they've played all over, though. They are so stinking good. $29.99. All right. Danny DeVito definitely wore that. Absolutely. All right. Yeah, I'm seeing them around. Okay. I'm seeing 20, 25, 32. All right. So not bad. I mean, like I said, I talked her down from $3 to $2. So that's just a list it. Again, Christmas is coming, holidays are coming, that season's coming. Otherwise, I may have left it behind. Okay, 2 more things. I've got one that's interactive and one that's regular. So this is, I picked this up at that same sale. This was an interesting, man, I'm telling you guys, all day today I ran into this. So I roll up to this garage sale where I got that hat. And there's like, you can tell it's kind of a multi-family thing because you've got like the 8 people in the garage all like hanging out, you know, with the door open and in the shade because I'm in Texas, so it's hot to sit out in the regular area. And I'm like, this goes one of 2 ways. Either everything's going to be super cheap or one family will have everything super cheap and the other family will have it for too much. So I roll up and I can see the lady that's in charge. She's got like like a gardening pouch on for money and stuff. So I was like, hey, it was like, you know, how much are you guys pricing your clothing at? And I'll say that a lot when I get to a sale, just so I don't waste my time. I used to not ask that right away. And the problem with not asking it right away is that you may spend 20 minutes going through stuff. You may find some pieces you like, and then you ask, and they want so much because they can see you're interested. You've been there for a while. You're not turning and burning, baby. You're giving it time to linger, and you're giving them time to think of prices in their head. You want to catch the person slightly off their game, like, whoa, this person's bold. They're asking me. They're ready to spend money. Let's go. Let's make a deal. And so I asked her, I'm like, how much are you guys asking for clothes? She goes, I don't know. Some are $3, some are $2, some's $1. I said, okay, so like just garage sale prices. She says, yeah. So I see a pair of Vionic slip-ons. I saw a lot of Vionics. I know this brand really well. I know what the sandals are worth. They're probably a $25 flip. She wanted $5 for them. And I was like, yeah, they're going to need, I knew I was going to have to go along and trim things. And I was going to have to wash them. And so I put them down. This other lady's like, oh, that's my pile. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I'm flipping through the clothes and she's like, that one's $5. And I'm like, really? Because I'm pretty sure you said that these were $3, $2, and $1. And now they're mysteriously $5. Interesting. I can see how this is going to go. So I decide I'm going to ask the husband. So I go over by the men's clothing stuff. And the husband's kind of walking around. He's winding up an extension cord. You know, he's trying to be busy and have something to do. The other, 6 ladies are in the garage. This guy does not want to be doing this on a Saturday. And I could tell that these were his clothes. So I walk over there and he's like, that's all $1. You're my guy. You're my guy. Ask questions about items without touching them. Yeah, that's a good tip too. That's a great tip. Perfect. And a lot of times too, when I show things to people, instead of being like, how much do you want for the vintage Texas golf shirt? I'll be like, how much you guys want for your old shirt? Oh, it's old. It's nothing. It's nothing. And that'll help the price too. So I got this for $1. If we look at the label, we see the AAA apparel again. So we know that this is older. It's a woven label. It's not going to be made in the USA, I'm sure. So made in Mexico, so definitely a Y2K-ish item. It's got that nice little bit of fading on it. This is a total like dad core, preppy, golfer, grandpa, dad. I mean, all the little trigger words you could do. Football, Texas strong, American, USA, like those are all kind of things you can do in there that's going to help to get that sold. That's probably a $16 t-shirt somewhere right in there. I got it for $1. And then last but not least, this is our interactive. I saw this coming down the street and I saw other people at the sale and I was like, oh my gosh, honey, you're not going to believe what I finally found in the wild. You're going to have to, it's an interactive. You have to see it. Okay. So I see this and the first thing I see is this. So I am rolling down the street and I see that print and I'm like, that is fire. So I get out of my car and I'm walking up there as fast as I can to get this because I already know what this is. So originally these came out in the 80s and the original brand that released these was a brand called Hypercolor. Does anybody remember Hypercolor? Hey, Emily, do we have anyone old enough in here to remember Hypercolor? Very popular between the years of like 1988 to like 1993. Jessica, yes. Another bolo is a marble with lizard. Yes, absolutely. So, are we ready? Are you guys ready for what this does? For anyone that doesn't know what Hypercolor is, this is going to blow your mind. And yes, this is clean. All right, ready? That's what this does. It changes the color when you get heat on it. It's a heat activated. And this one is in good condition. Now, this is a modern redo, meaning that it has already been, these have already been made. So this is kind of like a reprint. It is a made in the USA, which is great, but it's not vintage. Don't confuse that just because it says made in the USA. Some stuff is still made here. And it's got one, what's called a blown spot in the front here, where it's just a tiny bit lighter because the person might have accidentally put it in the dryer. You can't put these in the dryer, by the way. You remember it, Coley? Yeah, check out how cool this is. Ready? So it looks regular. And it immediately changes when you put heat on it. Justin, honey, you have to see this. Are you in the middle of an order? Oh, he runs an online ordering company, so he's in the middle of an order. Do you guys remember this? So this is fire. I got this for $1. I'm not sure what these are going for now. I mean, if this was an original Hypercolor, it would probably be a $60 shirt with this gecko on it. But being a reprint, I'm not really sure. Should we check? Let me see. I know these have been for sale again because I've had these in my like news feed before that for you to buy them. So I'm going to see. Yeah, so it looks probably like around $25. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so like $25 on this, and this will sell on Depop. That's where this will sell, 100%. I'm so glad, Coley, that you remember it. I was like, I wonder if anybody's going to remember. I had one Hypercolor shirt. I grew up, we didn't have a whole lot of money growing up. And so, I had to really save up to get stuff. And I wound up saving up babysitting money to buy a Hypercolor shirt. And I had to buy the least or the most inexpensive one at the store because, I didn't have much money. I think I bought it was like $12 brand new or something, which in that, for me as a kid babysitting for $2 an hour or $1 an hour or whatever, that was a lot of babysitting. And it was brown. So it wasn't necessarily the color I wanted. It was brown. And then when you blew on it, it would go to like a light tan cream color. The ones I really wanted were like the pink and blue ones, but they were more expensive. So, hey, Stacers. All right. So we got all that stuff today, you guys, for, I think I spent $47 total. So not bad. I feel like we'll probably clear, with those Yeezys, providing that they're real, and I'm pretty sure that they are, but just providing. I would say, let's say that they're real, everything's good. Probably $450 maybe. This is probably 450. So let's just say after taxes, fees, investment, maybe a $300 profit. So not bad for going out garage sailing. I mean, what I love about this job is that I'm able to like just make my own hours up and do what I want. And the freedom that you get by being able to do that is completely priceless. I mean, I've owned other businesses in my life. I've owned quite a few other businesses in my life. And even with those businesses, I don't feel like I had as much freedom as I do with this one. So totally worth it in my eyes. I get to go out, I get to listen to podcasts and music, and I get to meet cool people and take all of their trash away and upcycle it and have the ability to share it with the world. So thanks you guys for joining me. I'm gonna jam. We're gonna make some hash browns. We're gonna make some bacon. We're gonna make some eggs. I'm gonna have some more coffee. Maybe play a few video games, and then I'm gonna get to work. All right, you guys have a beautiful, fantastic, wonderful Saturday. I will be back on here tomorrow, I'm sure. Please come hang out with me. Thank you for the 213 hearts. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys killed it today or will kill it today in whatever you're doing. All right, you guys have a great day. Bye, Southern. Bye, Coley. Bye, you guys. Take care. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, YouTube. You are incredible. You're amazing. And this will be up for you to watch. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and have a beautiful, wonderful day. Mwah!